We're here at TVLine's Comic-Con Suite with Zachary Levi. Welcome.
Hi, good to be back. How many years in a row is this now?
18.
18 years in a row.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, and looking so much younger every year. How do we do it? How do we do it, Michael?
TV stuff.
Yeah.
Alias Grace. I
Yes.
saw some photos.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very cool.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's a period piece.
Netflix,
which
coming
I
out.
love. I don't know. I don't even know if there's a day.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been waiting. What's interesting is that it's based on a Margaret Atwood novel of the same name, Alias Grace. And as luck or fate would have it, Handmaid's Tale was also going into production. So we actually shot and finished before Handmaid's Tale started. But I think, and I don't know, maybe I'm giving people more credit than I ought to, but it seems to me that what they wanted to do was let Handmaid's Tale kind of go and be this initial Margaret Atwood offering to the world, particularly the rest of the world that's outside of Canada, because Margaret Atwood is a huge Canadian novelist, but not necessarily as well known in the rest of the world. Perhaps. I don't know. I love you, Margaret. I don't know. And then Handmaid's Tale's done very, very well. So I think that's going to be good for us in our release time. But we're a very different story. Ours is a full period piece set in Toronto, Canada in like the 1850s and about a young handmaid. Shocker. Margaret Atwood and those handmaids. And this is actually based on true events. There was a young 16-year-old handmaid that was convicted of being a part of a double homicide.
Is it Anna Paquin?
No, that is not Anna Paquin. Okay. That is Sarah Gadon. Okay. But Anna Paquin plays another very pivotal role in the show. It's 6 episodes, limited series.
Really limited.
Very limited. It's like Serial meets Downton Abbey. It's kind of like that. Okay. It's a doctor interviewing this young girl and trying to figure out, did she really do this? If she did do this, why did she do this? How did she do this? Mm-hmm. And you as the audience member are kind of along that roller coaster with her and with the doctor and like, what's going on? So, and then I play this other character that has, even that hasn't been released. I can't tell you anything, Michael.
That's fine. Well, speaking of Handmaid's Tale, how disturbed are you by watching Yvonne Strahovski play the most horrible human being in the world?
It's very weird. It's very weird. I've only seen one episode.
That's enough for you to know that she's not a good person.
No. That's true. It's also enough to know that show is just like
dark,
man. It is heavy. If I'm gonna have a heavy meal like that, I gotta make sure I've got room in the stomach to be able to digest it because it's super intense.
Yeah.
And I love dystopian stuff though. I like kind of like, what happens in this weird future. Do you watch Black Mirror?
I haven't seen it.
What in God's name?
Have you heard of this thing called
TVLine?
Peak TV? Other people on my staff have seen it. I just haven't personally gotten around to it.
Well, okay. Your staff. Maybe you should lead by example. Whatever. It's fine.
Psych the movie. You're playing someone called
the Thin White Duke.
Thin White Duke.
Yes, not to be confused with the
Thin White Dude.
Dude, or Thin White Baron. Even I'm more of a Duke.
That just seems like all kinds of fun.
It was super fun. James Roday and Dule Hill and Steve Franks have been buddies of mine for quite some time. They were really trying to get me onto their musical episode of Psych before they went off the air. They even wrote a character named Z. I couldn't do it. I was doing Thor: The Dark World. Busy guy. But they kept me in mind. And so then, back in, March, I got a text from Roday saying, hey, what are you doing end of May, beginning of June? I said, I don't know. What are we doing at the end of May and the beginning of June? He said, don't tell anybody, but it looks like we're going to make this Psych movie. And would you want to play the bad guy? And the look of this bad guy is based on David Bowie's Thin White Duke, period. I said, you had me at bad guy. But do tell me about this Thin White Duke situation. And then, and they just let me run with it, man. James and Dule and Steve and Chris Henze, everybody involved, they were really lovely and truly, like everybody says, oh, everybody was so collaborative. Like they genuinely let me run with this character, and thank you for the trust that you gave me in that because it was awesome. It was so much fun to play.
Lastly, where are we in pre-production on the Chuck revival?
Very, 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 very early pre-production. By that I mean I think I have a pretty good idea of what the plot of the movie would be. I need to find a writer that I really jive with, and we can go hash it out, and then I got to get that to the powers that be to make sure the rights and all, blah 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 blah. Look, if Chuck is if I make a movie and Chuck is like the 65-year-old version of Chuck, come hell or high water, I will make that movie. It'll be a different kind of Chuck. It'll be a lot of fun. He might be a little geriatric. Chuck knew Kung Fu, and now it's just like he's in a walker doing things like that. That'll be super weird. I don't know. I want to make it, though. Is that a good enough answer?
It'll do.
It'll do, pig.
It'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.